Last week at the workshop, we talked a little bit about the Restore New York grant. The town is looking to, I think the deadline to apply. Matt Chatfield, the executive director of WEDA, is here tonight, so he'll correct me if I'm wrong. January 27th, 2023. Not to be a broken record of devil in the details, a lot of things have to happen in parallel as we dovetail to that date. Actually, Josh Artuso is very involved in this too. One of the items that we're going to be doing a motion on is the advertising of a public hearing, identification of properties, at least tentatively we're looking at. So before I read this motion and make this motion, does the board have any comments or questions on this?
It's just been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Quite a few years we've been working on this.
Yeah.
I just want to perhaps comment, because I know it caught my eye. Part of the resolution is municipalities defined as cities, towns, and villages have been invited to submit a request for funding proposal for any project to, and this is what caught my eye, demolish, deconstruct, rehabilitate, and or reconstruct vacant, abandoned, condemned, and surplus properties. I think we probably want to assure people that we're not looking to flat out demolish anything. Would that be right? And as the devil in the details, we don't want people reading into it that that's our intent. But it's just the way the funding proposal reads, to include any possibilities.
And certainly, you know, Matt and or Josh, would you want to take the podium and any further explanation or questions from the board that, you know, before we do this? I'm totally open for that. Matt, don't take the succulent off the podium, by the way.
Matt Chatfield, Executive Director of the Webster Economic Development Alliance. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but that is correct. Should we be successful in obtaining funding for the Webster Furniture Strippers building, as of right now there may be some partial demolition, but as of the assessment from a structural engineer of the property, it's salvageable. So the intent is not to fully demolish that building.
All right.
And I just would like to add one caveat. The listing in the publication needs to be for 3 consecutive days. So I just want to make sure that that's understood. It has to be published
Once a week?
3 consecutive days from the date of publication. So
Okay.
How do we do that with a newspaper that comes out once a week?
It'll be on the website.
Yeah, it'll be digital-wise will be fine.
Is that acceptable?
it either in print or online. So as
Okay.
long as we can prove that it was
Yes.
published for 3 consecutive
Well,
days.
the prior one was done similarly, correct?
3
And that was
consecutive.
online, 3 consecutive days?
Yeah, I mean, that's the wording, and we have to prove publication with a copy or some sort of affidavit signed by the publisher that we have done so.
But the publisher of the website would be the town of Webster, so we would be acknowledging that we are publishing it on the website 3 days in a row?
I think we would need clarification if the town website would be sufficient.
Would you be able to accept an affidavit from the town clerk saying I published it, it was on the website for 3 days?
We can look at the language. Obviously, it's not me accepting it, right? It's
Okay.
Empire State
But
Development.
is
so-
it, we must have gone through this before.
Yes.
Okay. So whatever,
I'll
see what we did last time, we'll just repeat it.
I'll make sure that I'll send Dorothy the actual page that discusses that, and then you guys can make an interpretation of what you need to do.
All right. Well, I'm going to let this rip. I make a motion to schedule a public hearing for January 12th, 2023.
Yeah, we could cover ourselves.
Here in
We're
the
gonna find out.
town boardroom at,
Because obviously we did something before.
I need to get a time, because that is a workshop night, so I'm going to say 5:30 p.m. Let's start again. Motion to schedule a public hearing for Thursday, January 12, 2023 in the Webster Town Board Meeting Room, starting at 5:30 PM on pursuing Restore New York funding for West Webster Hamlet revitalization, specifically properties located at 600 Ridge Road, tax ID 078.20-1-11, prominently known in this town as the old Webster Furniture Strippers. 602 Ridge Road, tax ID 078.20-1-16. 603 Ridge Road, tax ID 078.20-1-68. 1041 Gravel Road, tax ID 078.20-1-84, and 1043 Gravel Road, tax ID 078.20-1-83, to be published in the Wednesday, December 28th edition of the Webster Herald, and at least 3 consecutive days thereafter on the Town of Webster's website. That is my motion.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.